So this is the foam board airplane I've built from dollar store foam board. 68.5 inch wingspan, 44 inches nose to the tail. It's constructed using an arm and wing, which if you go to the Experimentalairlines YouTube channel, he goes over all the techniques that he uses for building these foam board airplanes, and I pretty much just followed his instructions throughout.
Okay, so I've laid the wings out on the table, kitchen table. I'm going to use this aluminum 36-inch tube. Aluminum tube is my main spar, and then I have a little carbon fiber. So on the wing here, I've marked out my spar, the end of the spar, and then this is going to be a reinforced with some ply, an attach point for wing struts. So I'm going to reinforce that, and then also I'm going to reinforce, this is the motor center line. So I'll reinforce behind the spar and in front of the spar for the motor attach points. So I'm almost ready to close up the wing. I've put a stop in the channel where the spar goes so that it won't slide in too far. I've put some reinforcing in where the wing strut is going to attach underneath. And then this little piece of hardwood goes out a little bit further to give it a little bit more rigidity. And I've reinforced where the motor attach is going to be underneath the wing. And I'm pretty much just about ready to close up the wing. I'm just going to bevel the trailing edge so that when I fold it over it'll sit down nicely. Okay, so here's the basic wings joined by a spar for an 8-inch wide fuselage. Wings came out really well. There's the airfoil shape. So I still got to add some ailerons. And
so after I finished the wings, I just knew I needed to fold up an 8-inch wide fuselage. Again, refer to Experimentalairlines YouTube channel for how to go about folding up fuselages. It's pretty straightforward. So when I built this plane, the plan is to use it as a drop plane. There's going to be a fairly substantial drop bay right underneath the wing, and then removing this panel here to be able to install an FPV module. Now what I have here is a ballast plate that removes when I'm not using FPV, and then I would install the FPV module, which will be self-contained with everything on the one piece that can be removed and swapped out with the ballast. And the nice thing about foam board airplanes is you can pretty much cut a hatch anywhere you want. This is the battery compartment located behind the nose. I'm running a 3000 milliamp hour 4-cell, and the receiver is located in a foam block right behind the battery. So on the underside of the wing, you can see the ESC is just zip tied to a piece of square stock, and that square stock is screwed to the reinforcing wood that I had originally built into the wing. And then the servos are just cut into some recesses in the bottom of the wing. So again, the nice thing about foam is you can pretty much cut an access panel wherever you need it. Here in the bottom of the wing, I cut an access panel. This is where all my connections are for my ESC and all my wing servos. So technically, if I want to remove the wing, I can just disconnect everything right there. Remove the 2 wood screws here and here, and slide the whole wing off. Take the wing strut off and slide the whole wing off. Pretty simple. So these 2 pieces of wood here, the one on the leading edge and one on the trailing edge, keep it from pulling away from the fuselage. The forward one is on the bottom of the wing, the other one is inside the wing, and that gives it a slightly positive angle of incidence. For right now, till I find out how it flies, I have a piece of foam board taped over the drop bay, but it's approximately 6 inches by 6 inches and goes all the way to the top of the airplane. So the elevator and rudder servos are just mounted on the top of the fuselage. and the tail is just glued to the top of the fuselage with some reinforcement. All I used was hot glue on this entire airplane, so it should hold pretty well. Just make sure you glue it on clean. So looking down the rear end of the fuselage, you can see the reinforcing ply on the bottom for the main gear, and then the black foam board just to close out the opening for the drop bay. The receiver mounted in some foam, and I will put a aft bulkhead behind the drop bay. And then as we back out, you can see the servo extensions going to the rudder and elevator servo, which are screwed into some wood, and a little small piece of sheet balsa that holds the horizontal stabilizer on.
Up, down, right, left. All right. Let's see.
Whoa!
Easy, easy.
Wow!
Heavy. It's
That's pretty cool. Man, it's slow though, huh? Okay, I got it now.
yeah, it's gonna need a little trimming out on a calm day.
Yeah, I got
a
it.
little tail heavy, and really pitch sensitive.
Really? Yeah, that was kind of, that takeoff was...
That was. It wasn't getting off the ground, and I pulled up, and then it went up.
All right, I'm finally got the thing kind of decent right now.
Can't really tell where the wind's coming from. It's almost like it's changed.
Variable. Yeah, this is like blinding me here just trying to video this thing. Oh, flying.
Yeah. If I throttle back, it just kind of cruises along.
What are you at, about like just a quarter power or something there?
Yeah, that's not even half throttle.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from, you're right. Focus.
Oh! Well,
Well, you know.